So I thought it might be good to make a quick educational video since I keep seeing people telling lies about the age of their so-called ferret. It doesn't exist and it's obviously made from artificial intelligence. So how old is this guy here? How old is Tar? Tar himself will be 7 years old. That is considered for most people quite an old ferret. In the wild, the ferret lives approximately 0 to 3 years, or 3.5 if you want to average it as the longest. So when someone says that my ferrets apparently live for 20 years, 22, 25, 30, however many you're lying about, that's not true. On record, the oldest we have for a ferret is 14 years. So the idea that someone's got one that's 20, 18, 23 years, it's not true. It's just complete and utter bullshit. I've had him since he was basically a baby. I got him basically around when he was like 2 months old or 3 months old, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I've had him for 7 years. He himself is considered quite an old ferret. In ferret years, you basically work out every human year is worth 10 years in ferret years. Some people say it's 8, I go with 10. So you could argue him, or Tsar himself, would be, in theory, 70 to 80 at the moment. He will reach his 8th birthday, but either way, reaching 7 years old for a ferret is considered quite old. You can consider 4 to 5 as quite an old ferret. So when someone's claiming that, my ferret lived for 20 years, there is no data to support that claim. That itself is just complete and utter bullshit. If you said to me my ferrets lived for 15 years, then I think that's possible, or 16, or a push 18 years, but it's highly unlikely any exists 20 years. Sorry. Because, he himself, I've had him, he's also pretty big for a ferret. He's the biggest I've ever had. He himself is still an old ferret in theory. He himself would be approximately 72 years old if you want to include ferret, or simply 7. So the idea which a lot of people are claiming that, my ferret's 20 years old is just complete and utter bullshit. So please don't believe when people tell you that. It's just utter crap and they're just talking shite. Sorry to swear, but sometimes you got to. And if you want to include the age of my other guy, Wolverine himself would be 6 months in human years. Or if you want in ferret years, you could argue he's now, you could then argue he's 5. But either way, this guy here, my albino man, he himself is 7 or 7.5 if you want his exact month of how old he is. But either way, it's highly unlikely, even if everything in the world goes well or right, that he himself will reach, say, 15 years. He could probably reach 10 because he is the one I've had that's had the best health. But either way, I still don't think there's any guarantee I can guarantee he's going to reach 20 or something like that. It's just not possible. It'd be nice if it did. But either way, that's not how things work. Anyway, I hope that makes sense to you for age. So if someone tells you that, my ferret's apparently aged 20, 25, or whatever crap you're talking about, that's just bullshit. Anyway, that's all. Thanks. Bye.